Good evening. Former police official Royina Garma and her daughter were arrested and detained in the United States, according to the Department of Justice. Citing a report from the Philippine National Police and the Department of the Interior and Local Government, DOJ spokesperson Miko Clavano says Garma and her daughter Angelica Garma Villela were arrested and detained in San Francisco, California on November 7. According to Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, Garma was able to leave the Philippines because there is no hold departure order against her but was detained in the U.S. because her visa was cancelled.
Walang hold order. Walang lookout bulletin. She physically still had with her visa to the U.S., which was of course cancelled. She was held in detention by the U.S. Border Patrol because her visa was cancelled already. That's why I think she's going to be sent home.
Remulla says he ordered Immigration Commissioner Joel Viado to facilitate Garma's return to the Philippines. According to Remulla, he trusts that Garma will cooperate with the ongoing investigations as the agency works to ensure her safe return to the country. At the House of Representatives Quad Committee hearing on October 11, Garma said former President Rodrigo Duterte adopted a so-called Davao template in implementing the drug war on a nationwide scale, where officers involved in the killing drug suspects were rewarded. According to Garma, it was Duterte who contacted her about the creation of a national task force. During the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee hearing on October 28, Duterte disputed Garma's claims, saying the former police official was supposedly lying. The State Weather Bureau says Ofel has intensified into a severe tropical storm, while Tropical Cyclone Nika has weakened and exited the Philippine area of responsibility. According to Pag-asa, Nika weakened into a tropical storm and left Par at around 2 p.m. on Tuesday, November 12. All tropical cyclone wind signals have been lifted. Meanwhile, based on Pag-asa's 5 p.m. bulletin on Tuesday, Ofel is now a severe tropical storm, packing maximum sustained winds of 95 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 115 kilometers per hour. Ofel was last spotted 780 kilometers east of Virac, Catanduanes, moving west-northwestward at 30 kilometers per hour. According to Pag-asa, Ofel may bring a heavy to intense rains in Isabela from Wednesday afternoon, November 13, until Thursday afternoon, November 14. Moderate to heavy rains due to Ofel are forecast over Cagayan, Apayao, Aurora, Abra, Kalinga, Mountain Province, and Ifugao from Wednesday to Thursday. Pag-asa says Ofel will move west-northwestward over the Philippine Sea before making landfall at peak intensity along the east coast of Cagayan or Isabela on Thursday afternoon or evening. However, Pag-asa emphasizes that hazards on land and coastal waters may still be experienced in areas outside the landfall point. Ofel may become a typhoon on a Wednesday afternoon or evening. Former President Rodrigo Duterte will troop to the Batasang Pambansa complex to supposedly confront officials of the House of Representatives Quad Committee for rescheduling its hearing on the drug war. For the details, our House reporter Gabriel Lalu is reporting live. Gab?
Yes, Neil, the Quad Committee has confirmed that the hearing scheduled on Wednesday, November 13, has been rescheduled to November 21. Quadcom lead presiding officer and Surigao lawmaker Robert Ace Barbers said that they decided on Monday to reschedule the hearing because of a need to verify first a number of testimonies from possible witnesses. Barbers also clarified that the Quad Committee never received any confirmation from former President Rodrigo Duterte about his attendance before the hearing was rescheduled. However, Duterte supporters like vlogger Mocha Uson claimed that the Quad Committee canceled the hearing because lawmakers were afraid of the former president. Barbers countered this, saying that the hearing would have pushed through if only Duterte confirmed his attendance. According to former presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo, he and Duterte would troop to the Batasang Pambansa complex on Wednesday to confront the Quad Committee members for canceling the hearing without prior notice. Panelo also said that Duterte would request for a 10-day marathon hearing. Makabayan Black lawmakers, however, believe this is just another publicity stunt from Duterte, as he was properly informed about the new schedule of the hearing. The Quadcom has investigated the Duterte administration's drug war due to alleged irregularities in police operations. Revelations from former police officials about the reward system have bolstered lawmakers' beliefs that there were irregularities in the anti-drug campaign.
Gab, so it seems na may istorya yung camp ni President Duterte. Then there's also the side of the lawmakers from the House, but there can only be one truth. Anyway, my question, Gab, is gagamitin ba nitong House Quad Committee yung mga statements made by President Duterte during the hearing conducted by the Senate Subcommittee earlier?
Well, there has been no pronouncement from the Quad Committee leaders if they would use the statements made by the former president during the Senate hearing for the next Quad Committee hearing. Although they have been reacting to several statements, like for example, Committee on Human Rights Chairperson Bienvenido Abante said that former President Duterte may be held liable for the things that he mentioned during the Senate hearing. But earlier, during the press briefing, lawmakers from the Quad Committee said that they still have a lot of questions to ask from the former president. They have a lot of information that they want to get from the former president, which makes his presence at the Quad Committee hearing very important.
Gab, let's talk about the approach the Quad Committee is planning to take once President Duterte attends the hearing over there at the Batasang Pambansa. No? Please correct me if I'm wrong, Gab. I remember reading about an article earlier this month na parang sinasabi na yung foul language daw na ginagamit ni President Duterte earlier doon sa Senate hearings, dapat daw it should be sanctioned by lawmakers. May mga ganong statements na lumabas and I believe that came from some lawmakers over there at the House of Representatives. So, ano yung approach that they are planning to take pagdating dito sa hearing na kinokonduct nila once President Duterte attends their hearing?
Well, may mga previous briefings yung mga Quad Committee chairpersons wherein they said that they would caution the former president against using profanities. They would call for a point of order. But insofar as the next hearing, which is on November 21, wala pang masyadong detalye na binibigay ang Quad Committee kung paano i-handle yung hearings. What was clear earlier is that they would coordinate, they would provide the former president with the schedule of their next hearing so that he can clear up his schedule in case he wants to attend. Nung tinanong natin kung makikipag-usap ba sila sa kampo ni former President Duterte para maayos yung schedule at malaman kung saan yung free time ni former President, hindi rin naman sila sumang-ayon doon kasi ayaw naman nilang magmukha na parang may special treatment para kay former President. Ang malinaw, bibigyan nila ng kopya si former President Duterte ng mga susunod na hearings kung kailan nakaschedule para malinaw niya na at maklear niya na yung mga araw na yun.
Let's talk about that, Gab, because that's a good point that you raised on the issue of impartiality. As you know, current congressman din, itong anak ni President Rodrigo Duterte na si Congressman Paulo Duterte, will he be attending the hearing? And how do we make sure na walang conflict of interest? Because on one hand, Congressman Duterte is a lawmaker, a member of the House of Representatives. But on the other hand, he's also the son of President Duterte. So, ano yung assurance na binibigay ng ating mga leaders dyan sa House that there will be walang partiality na mangyayari during the hearing?
Well, palagi namang sinasabi ng Quadcom chairpersons na bawat lawmaker sa House ay entitled sa kanyang mga sariling beliefs. In fairness to Congressman Paulo Duterte, he has not signified his intention to attend the hearings where his father might be present. What he said before was that he wanted to attend the hearings regarding the magnetic lifter issue where his name was mentioned. He said last September he wanted to have a chance to question the witnesses presented by the Quad Committee, particularly ito nga si former Bureau of Customs official Jimmy Guban. Kasi na-name drop siya, na sabi yung kanyang pangalan. So doon niya gusto, kasi yun nga, tatandaan natin, yung Quad Committee, marami siyang issues na dinatakel, marami siyang dinidiscuss. Meron yung sa Pogo, meron yung sa drug war, meron din sa illegal drug trade. So ang gustong puntahan ni Congressman Paulo Duterte was yung hearing sa drug trade, not the extrajudicial killings.
Final question na lang from me, Gab. You mentioned in your report na pupunta sila former spokesperson Salvador Panelo, tama ba? Kasama si President Duterte dyan sa Batasan bukas. What is their goal? And at the same time, paano naman yung magiging reception ng ating mga mambabatas dyan sa House of Representatives?
Sa statement kanina ni former presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo, sabi niya, magre-request daw si former President Duterte ng isang marathon na hearing, 10-day hearing.
10-day hearing?
Hindi sunod-sunod
Tuloy-tuloy
na
yun,
10-day hearing. Marathon 10-day hearing para matapos na yung discussion dito tungkol sa EJ case, di umano'y EJ case sa drug war. Wala pang sinasabi ang mga Quad Committee chairs dito dahil nangyari yung announcement ni former presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo after nung briefing ng Quad Committee chairpersons. Pero kanina nagkaroon din ng press briefing yung Makabayan Bloc, yung mga si Congresswoman Arlene Brosas, Congresswoman Franz Castro at Congressman Raul Manuel. Sinabi naman nila na handa silang harapin si former President Duterte kung pupunta siya. At isa pa, nandito rin bukas yung mga biktima ng mga kamag-anak ng mga drug war victims. Merong misa bukas ng umaga at handa rin daw yung mga kamag-anak ng biktima na harapin si former President Duterte.
Okay, maraming salamat, Gab. Babantayan natin yung mga developments dyan. Lalo na doon sa sinasabing pagpunta dyan nila former spokesperson Sal Panelo at ni former President Duterte dyan sa Batasan. Maraming salamat, Gab. That's Gabriel Lalo reporting live from the House of Representatives. Customers of power distributor Meralco may have to pay higher for their electricity bills in November due to an increase in the generation charge. At a briefing on Tuesday, November 12, Meralco says power rates would go up by around 42 centavos per kilowatt hour this November. The increase pushes the overall electricity rate for a typical household to 11 pesos and 85 centavos per kilowatt hour in November, from 11 pesos and 42 centavos per kilowatt hour in October. Households consuming 200 kilowatt hours will need to pay an additional 85 pesos to settle their bill for November. Meralco Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications Joe Zaldariaga attributes the increase to hikes in generation charge and transmission charge. Zaldariaga says that while power consumption usually drops during the colder months, activities related to holidays and festive events may jack up energy use. FIVOC says it recorded 2 ash emission events at Canon Volcano in Negros Island, while Alert Level 2 prevails over the volcano. In an advisory on Tuesday, November 12, FIVOC says the 2 ash emission events recorded on Monday, November 11 lasted from 4 minutes to 11 minutes long. State volcanologists say they observed continuous degassing with occasional ash emission at Canon Volcano. The volcano emitted a 600-meter tall plume which drifted north. Canon Volcano also released about 3,500 tons of sulfur dioxide on Monday. According to FIVOC, Alert Level 2 remains over Canon Volcano, meaning entry into the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone is not allowed. FIVOC reminds residents near the volcano of possible hazards under Alert Level 2, including sudden steam-driven or phreatic eruptions and precursory magmatic activity. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.